Hi everybody, it's Jeff Barmer from Richard Lloyd Accounting Recruitment here in Sydney. We wanted to provide a quick market update to tell you what is really going on in the job market over the last 6 months. We had an outstanding March, but I've got to tell you, April and May were pretty tough for us. And again, it was tough because there was just stagnation everywhere really. Over the last 6 months, we've seen that we've placed jobs for 94 accountants in Sydney. Now that's a pretty good result, and I was quite surprised. And if we look at actually who's hiring, we've got a real mixture of companies. We've got some large, some small, some ASX listed, some multinationals, as well as some privately held companies. So it's a real mixed bag. In terms of industries, again, it's pretty broad across the whole spectrum, except obviously, anything travel and tourism related, and obviously media's been a little bit slow as well. So again, there's been a steady mix of roles with quite a range of industries. In terms of the type of jobs, most of the jobs have had a bit of a financial control focus to them. So we've seen plenty of, financial accountant, finance manager, financial controller roles. We've seen plenty of roles at the junior end on those AP, credit control, payroll, assistant accountant roles, and even recently we've seen a few grad roles, which has been great. And at the top end, we've actually seen some really good CFO roles come on the market. We've seen companies who are looking to do some new things, which I think is really exciting. The other good thing on the temporary side, we've actually seen some companies actually kick off some projects, so some systems upgrades, some re-engineering work going on. So again, that to me gives me a fair bit of encouragement that things aren't so bad. If we think about temp versus perm, 68% of the jobs have been perm, which again is unusual because usually in downturns you get the increase in temp. So the fact we've seen more perm has been quite interesting. In terms of if we're looking at interviewing sort of face-to-face or Zoom, face-to-face is definitely back in vogue. Zoom is kind of still being used in part of the process, but not as popular as it used to be. If we talk about the candidate supply, and this is really interesting, we would typically get candidates from 3 pools. So the first one would be, people moving to Sydney, so either migrating or coming back from overseas. Obviously, you can't see many planes in the sky, and I believe that the traffic at Sydney Airport is down by 90%. So we're not seeing many people arrive, or if they are there, they've got to do their 2 weeks in hotel quarantine at their own expense now. Secondly, we're talking about career progression, and again, a lot of people have said, well, hang on a minute, I'm going to put that on the back burner, and I'm just going to stay put where I am. And if they go home and if their partner caught them on a job board, they'll probably get a slap over the wrist. And the third one is redundancies. Now, all we hear about in the media is redundancies. Now, in my view, and over my 20 years, let's be honest, there's not a huge amount of fat in the finance function. So there's not a huge amount to actually make redundant. So in the last 2 months alone, I reckon I've seen a handful of people being made redundant. And I'm pretty confident that those people will get jobs in the near future. So, in terms of what does the future hold? Well, the big thing is, what I'd hope to see is a bit of a rebounding of the commercial manager analytical roles, because they have been in a bit decline. But companies are going to really start to need these people as they look to grow again. And let's face it, the CEO probably wants to get his bonus for the year. So companies are going to start to look to grow again. I also hope to see that our job volumes pick up even further. So, we dropped 90% down in April, but we're back to about, 75-80% of where we were. So we're pretty confident there's going to be some really exciting opportunities coming onto the market soon. If you want any further information, go to richardlloyd.com.au or give me a call or speak to the rest of the team.